spells to use on their hair.
Yeah. Still never saw anything written on their sweaters.
It's still there.
Bill is right here. Talk to him.
I just want to make sure they're back here.
Play past the phone. If he was unable to, he'll let us know if he's unable to hear.
He's in between all of us. You're in charge of him. You're in charge of him.
Well, I'm in charge of you tonight. I sure do.
I'd like to call the September 18, 2025 regular Nottoway County School Board meeting to order. There was a minor modification to an electronic participation. I need a motion consistent with policy BDD. We have a school board member, Mr. Bill Outlaw, who would like to participate electronically. May I have a motion to allow Mr. Outlaw to participate electronically?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, in order to appease with our code, we do have to have a rationale.
Well, I'm
Yes, state the
about to ask that once we have this. Mr. Outlaw, would you provide the reason for your need to be on electronic?
Yes, for the past several years, our annual family vacation has been this week in September. We have made arrangements months ago, rented a house and so forth, so it was not possible for me to change that, and it's quite some distance from Nottoway.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
The motion passes. There will be a moment of silence followed by prayer if you choose to pray with us, and if you are capable after the prayer to stand for the pledge.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you once again for this day and for this moment in time. We thank you tonight for our Nottoway School Board, our clerk, our superintendent, our board members. We thank you tonight for our staff and our students and all the parents that are here tonight. Thank you for your mercy, for your grace. Thank you for just blessing us each and every day. We are mindful of your will. We are mindful of your grace. We need your peace. We need your protection. Please continue to guide us and keep us each and every day. And by the name of Jesus, we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I need a motion to approve the September 18th agenda as amended.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Can you share what we amended, please?
We will add on page 10, item E, under action items, the modification of the student code of conduct. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Awards and recognition. Dr. Martin?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. This evening, Blackstone Primary is going to share highlights of their new Kindness 101 program. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Painter. Oh, there she is. I was like, I know I saw her earlier, to Miss Painter, and I think she's got some students that are going to help her this evening.
This gets to me all the time.
Have some people join me. Okay. So tonight, good afternoon, Mr. Chair, board members, Dr. Martin. I'm Amanda Painter, the principal at Blackstone Primary School, and I have 3 delightful students with me tonight, and they're going to introduce themselves when they do their activity. So, I am presenting to you tonight Blackstone Primary School's Kindness 101. Okay, it's not clicking. Okay. So, we have our vision for Blackstone Primary School. At Blackstone Primary School, we are committed to excellence by providing engaging and innovative instruction. We will grow BPS Cubs with love, learning, and leadership. So, we have lots of meaningful activities at BPS that we are working on this year for kindness and to help prevent bullying and promote kindness throughout the school. So some of the things we will be highlighting is Kindness 101 and journal writing, our kindness referrals, kindness chains that were created, our Cougar Cub pledge, a kindness song that we have been singing at school, and some kindness activities that our students have been working on and will present to you. And this is all part of creating a caring and supportive school community. So, Kindness 101, this is, I don't know if you've heard of Jack Hartman on the road. He's with CBS. He goes on the road and highlights students and children that have done kind acts and has video clips. So this Kindness 101 is clips of his kindness that have been put together. And these videos are journal prompts, or ways to encourage students to be creative writers and help them build their writing stamina while offering them opportunities to reflect on kindness and social emotional growth. So there is a video. There's always a vocabulary word highlighted, as on this one, kindness, which means the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. And there are questions for them to use to journal in when the teachers present these in the classroom. So these are just some nice pictures that we have around our school. We have some bulletin boards. You see students are journaling, students are doing kindness activities. We promote our teachers with kindness as well. We have something this year called a woot woot chart, and we're going around giving out treats randomly to encourage our teachers. And you can see in the bottom there is Miss Yates' class is doing a lesson there on kindness. Uh-oh, that's not good. Oh no. Sorry. We had some difficulties with my presentation, so now
Technical difficulty.
yes, so I didn't realize I had to request access there. But unfortunately, that was a very cute video of our students singing our kindness song, and we have been playing. Oh wait, Ms. Dr. Martin might be able to play that for us. Oh, no. Okay.
You may have to see it at a later date.
Yes.
I will share it with
Okay, perfect. So we use that kindness song in the mornings for students to hear during our announcements, and they've been practicing them in their classrooms as well. So this is just another highlight of how the teachers are brainstorming and using ways to be kind with our classmates and our friends. So our 3 students are going to introduce themselves and show you an activity they did on being kind.
Right here?
Yep, all of you come up here. They're going to take turns.
Good afternoon, school board chair, school board members, and Dr. Martin. My name is Maya Garcia. I'll include others by asking them to get some ice cream. I will choose kindness over bullying. I can be a good friend by listening to them when they are talking. I can be kind even when someone is crying. Good afternoon, school board chair, school board members, and Dr. Martin. My name is Dan Sajid. I can show respect by treating everybody fairly. I will share with others with you. I will listen carefully when the teacher is talking. I can stand up for someone by supporting them when they are right.
Good afternoon, school board chair, school board members, and Dr. Martin. My name is Chloe Zava. I can help someone who feels left out. I will use kind words when anytime I speak. I will smile over someone who is shy. I can brighten someone's day by helping if they don't know the answer.
All right.
You were very generous with your time to be kind to us.
Yes, indeed.
So they want to offer you, these are our Caught Being Kind that we're working on in school as well. Anyone can give a student a Caught Being Kind, and they are going to receive a little sticker and a Cougar Coin Cub and a book when they receive these Caught Being Kind. So they want to give you a Caught Being Kind.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. Outlaw's not here, and
Thank you.
thank you. So these are some other initiatives we are working on for kindness in our school. And you can see on this last slide, there are some pictures. We have our Choose Kindness sign that we have throughout the school, our chain. Every student in the school received a little card, and they wrote on it how they would be kind at school, and we hang these chains up throughout the school to remind everyone what we think of kindness. And then again, some other photos of the students holding up their kind activities. So, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. Let's choose kindness every day. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Longevity recognition, Dr. Martin.
Good evening again, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Tonight we take a moment to pause and celebrate one of the greatest strengths of Nottoway County Public Schools, our people. The heart of NCPS beats because of the dedication, service, and love of our staff, and that they pour into our schools year after year. Longevity is not just about time, it's about the countless lessons that are taught, the encouragement shared, the buses driven safely, the meals served with care, the halls that are kept bright and clean, and the lives changed along the way. So we felt it was important to bring this recognition to the school board meeting because longevity deserves to be honored in front of our community, their dedication to our school division. So it reflects more than years of service. It reflects a commitment, resilience, and the belief in the promise of every Nottoway student. So this evening we have a long list, but I'm excited to present them to you this evening and the years of service that they have. So Mr. Abbott or Mr. Rowe or Mr. Wilson or Ms. Duncan, y'all can all take turns if you want. There are awards up here. Heather will make sure you get the right ones to the right people as we're going through.
Heather's got an important job.
She does. So we're going to start with those that have given 5 years of service to the school division. And I'm not sure if they're all here, but we'll go through and we'll make sure that they get their, yes, and we would like you to stay up front for a photo, or we can do the 5 years together. I wonder, is she hiding back there? She's over there. Okay, we'll get Chandra to do a picture in the meantime for each one. Dr. Lewis, we'll put you on the spot. Will you do the 5-year picture and so on? All right, so our 5 years of service. We'll start with Blackstone Primary, Rebecca Jordan, Samantha Carwile, Jean Jennings, Leslie Badger at Crew Primary,
Congratulations.
Drew Patla at Crew Primary,
Congratulations.
at Nottoway Intermediate School, Sheila Tucker,
Congratulations.
Deidre Marshall. At Nottoway Middle School, Kevin Biddle.
Thank you, Secretary. Appreciate it.
Randall Jenkins at Nottoway High School. Karen Langhorn at Nottoway High School. Nurse Jennifer Pridgeon at the high school. And then at the school board office, Dr. Greger.
Who's in our classroom?
All of these have given us 5 years of service to the school division, so pause for your picture.
We got
Next, we have our 10 years of service to the school division. Blackstone Primary, Amanda Noblin. From Crew Primary, Angela Rainey. And Mary Sorensen.
Congratulations.
For Nottoway High School, Conchita Austin. From maintenance, I'm sorry, with 10 years, Samuel McDaniel. Doug McDaniel. And from transportation, Velma Jennings. Pamela Burks. And Robert Rico, Bob. Let's give our 10 years congratulations. Those with 20 years of experience in the school division. From Blackstone Primary, Mary Ann Collins.
Congratulations.
Consecutive years. Lloyd Page from Crew Primary School. And Joan Lee from Crew Primary School. Let's give our 20 years a round of applause. Our 30 years of dedication to the school division. From maintenance, Chris Stewart. And from transportation, Lily Clark.
Congratulations. Careful.
You have to keep the bar.
I know. Let's give Ms. Clark a round of applause. And finally, for 50 years of service to the school division.
No her.
She could not be here this evening. She wanted to be here, but she could not be here this evening. It's Doris Hargrave.
Yes, sir.
We are very lucky, very fortunate to have dedicated school employees that have stick with us through all the years. So we appreciate you. We appreciate all of our employees, but we definitely appreciate you for sticking with us and giving back to our students here in Nottoway. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Delegations from the public. We have one speaker that signed up, Audrey Brown.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for allowing me the time. this time this afternoon, evening. Out my way, sorry. I'd like to, I know that you guys are having a meeting next week with the Board of Supervisors regarding the Burkeville School. It's always Burkeville School with me. And I would like for you to convey some of the utility of that building for this community. And I know you're tired of hearing it, but, you know, maybe something will stick in that will help us maintain the space. The space can be swing space. Right now, the courthouse is going to be moving. They need some swing space. They can move in, they can renovate, they can do the roof for us, because it's going to take them at least a year to 2 years to get that finished, okay? And then after they move out, then the school board can go in and then get their renovation done, and the building's already ready for them. We can use that building for community education, English as a second language. We can get some community colleges to come in there and hold some courses at night for our students, for our kids here. Also, it would be a great place for the 4-H club and future farmers to grow. There's a lot of agricultural scholarships out there, and I'm hoping that we are a part of that. But the main reason I want the gym to stay there is for, the building, the school, is for the gym. The gym is a place where we have come to walk. We have come to enjoy being in a safe environment, a cozy environment. So if you could, would you just tell them that we need this building in our community as a place for us as a community to use? Maybe not the school board, but the community needs a place for the building. Okay? And the other thing that I wanted to talk about was Head Start. There are some parents who are concerned that there's no Head Start bus from Burkeville and Crew. It's only from Blackstone, and there is nothing that you guys are going to do about it, and they've got to drive their kids to Head Start every day. So I'm hoping that there is something in the plan, in the work, so that those kids can go to Head Start and not be truly dependent on their parents to get them there. Okay? And my last thing is a special needs swing. Crew does not have one. Blackstone has one. So if we could find some money in the budget to put a swing over there for our special needs kids, greatly appreciate that. Thank you very much for listening to me, and you guys have a blessed evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brown.
And thank you for being a voice for the community and being committed to being that voice.
Thanks. Welcome.
Yes, indeed.
The consent agenda, may I have a motion to approve items A through P?
So moved.
Is there a second?
You said A through P,
Yes, ma'am.
so you're pulling out Q?
Is there a Q?
That's cute.
The addition of
There's a Q that was added.
a Q that was added.
Okay, then A through Q.
Motion?
Move A through Q.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed by the same sign. Okay, P. I'm missing a Q. Action items. Carry over state funds from 25 to 26. Mrs. Meyer?
Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board, Dr. Martin. This evening I come to you to ask permission or request permission to carry over funds from FY24 or FY25 to FY26. Now that we are in the process of closing out fiscal year 25, we have a much better idea of what our carryover funds are going to be. In your packet this evening, you have two things. One, you have the article from the state that actually grants us permission to be able to carry over said funds, as long as that we can say that the locality has met its local requirement and its local match, which they have. So since they have done that, we are able to carry over these funds. It doesn't matter what the original purpose of the funds are. We can carry them over to offset any budgetary needs that we may have. So the budget adjustment that you have before you breaks it down a little bit. You have leftover direct aid that is unencumbered, which means it's not set aside currently for anything. You have direct aid that was encumbered at the end of the fiscal year that needs to be carried over so that we can honor those purchase orders that are part of that encumbered amount. And then we have our facility use, the rental fees. And the reason why I'm asking for rental fees to be carried over is so that we have a little pot of money in case like a microphone breaks, a light breaks in like our main auditorium. We have some funds that we can use to be able to fix those things, and it doesn't have to come out of our regular everyday budget. So that's where that is. That was some of the funds that we actually received last year, so that we're just want to carry those over to be able to use that. Within that, I've given you kind of the expenditure lines where this money is going to be broken down to. And I'll kind of go over some of the idea of things that we're going to use these funds for. Now, if you remember when we went through budget season, there was a lot of items that I had to cut out of the budget because we just didn't have the state funding coming from the governor's budget. I was actually able to put a lot of those items back in, ensuring that we have our full amount of fulcrum counseling services that we have had in the past few years, to be able to make sure that our transportation and maintenance areas are able to buy the supplies that they need to repair any school buses or just general maintenance upkeep, making sure that our technology department has what it needs to be able to keep us, safe from all the cybersecurity stuff that is out there and anything else that we need technology-wise. But a good chunk, and I'll explain this, you see that I've got $800,000 set aside in fiscal services. That is money that we would actually like to invest into a money market account where we can start to kind of grow a capital fund. So right now, I've kind of got it just reserved in that fiscal line. If you all, approve this, and obviously next month that the Board of Supervisors approve this, then Dr. Martin and I will have to start having those conversations with the treasurer on how to best be able to start that process. And then we can transition those funds to where it needs to be. We're reserving funds out again for the internship program at the high school to make sure that we can continue to maintain that, since that has been such a phenomenal thing for our students. And then we're also adding a lot to our current capital improvement line. There are some things that we would like to tackle this school year with some of these carryover funds that are a safety and security aspect. One of that is intercom systems in all 5 of our schools. They are starting to break down, and they're starting to break down very rapidly, and they're old. They were extremely old and not very user-friendly to be able to fix. So one of the things we want to make sure that we can do is be able to put new intercom systems into all of our schools, so that in the event of an emergency, there's a PA system that can be used to be able to communicate that, or just in general for daily announcements, making sure that everybody has the ability to hear what is actually going on in their schools every day during morning announcements. So it's a very important thing for us to have and for us to update and fix. The other thing, we've talked year over year about security vestibules, and we have one school that is relatively easy to do a security vestibule in and doesn't cost millions of dollars like unfortunately it does at some of the other schools. So we would like to go ahead and put in a security vestibule at Blackstone Primary School. That way we can kind of start the process. Plus then we have something we can start to model by and be able to really speak to, how well it works and all of that, so that we can continue to push those conversations at our other schools to be able to ensure that we are doing those as well. And then there could be some other minor upgrades that we're able to do with this funding, just depending upon how far we can stretch it. So we're asking to put about $633,000 in that line so that we can start to address some of these issues. So that is the budget carryover. I have it broken down so you can kind of see within the encumbered money where that was already placed, which is school buses, some continued projects that we have outstanding with maintenance that's still ongoing, with some of our HVAC and some of the bathroom upgrades that we were doing, and then some of our technology things that just had not come in whenever the fiscal year had closed. So that is our total budget adjustment for the carryover. It does equal $3,024,096.75. And I do ask this evening for permission to carry over those funds into fiscal year '26.
It's a pleasure of the board.
I make a motion to carry over those funds.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Purchase services, instruction. What are those?
That was to ensure that we had the funding needed to be able to do like the new teacher program that was started, and to do any other professional development that might be needed throughout the school year for staff, to make sure that we are providing. And you'll see elsewhere in the next item that there's also large amounts also, in there for special education as well, and another budget adjustment you're going to do this evening. So really trying to make sure that we have the resources that we need to support our teachers, our staff, and our students.
I have a couple of small questions. Who all knows this besides the people in this room?
As far as like all of this, public knowledge, anybody can come ask, anybody can come sit down
Somebody
and
can
ask.
come and ask, but how many people know it now?
Whoever's watching,
Anybody that's watching the video now will be able to pick this up. Okay, because every now and again, when you throw a number around like 3 million, they think they gave the school too much money.
well, I can tell you, a lot of this savings, we had a large number of unfilled positions last year. That is where the bulk of these funds come from, is just unused salaries.
I appreciate that you do an excellent job tracking every nickel. I have a concern that some folks outside of here that never show up, that will think we've given the school system too much money, and they'll come up with a whole bunch of other stuff.
I would say, Mr. Chairman, contractually, there's not a dime extra that is given to us, other than what is mandated. So to that answer, it doesn't matter, because
We're all on the same page. We're all on the same page.
We know
Make sure that
Everybody else knows.
I'm just concerned with some of this, I'll call them strangers.
Yeah.
You've heard that
Might not be-
before.
Yes.
Well, I'll call them strange, rather than strange.
Mr.
Choose to do things differently than that.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, ma'am.
I would also say that in our discussions that we've had, we feel we all know there's some significant improvements and concerns that we have at some of our schools with structure and those type of things, and it's also good faith of us using funds to try to fix some of the stuff, bring up ADA compliant. We know we've got an ADA compliance study out, and we don't know what that's gonna bring for us, that we also have to do for that. So this will allow us to put some things in place.
I appreciate that. The 800,000 that you would like to be able to invest in a 3-month CD, is there any other number you could add to that on a 3-monther?
Well, I will say, I prefer to have it in a money market account that has higher interest rate. And the reason for that, we never know when a building emergency is gonna happen, and we've had a fair amount of those. And being able to access that money at any time in the event of an emergency is important, which is why I don't necessarily wanna go down the route of CDs. I'd rather do a high-interest money market account. But, this could be something that, one, we can grow, and that if we do continue to have a little bit money left over here and there, at the end of the year, we can start to grow that capital improvement fund, because we do have some major expenses that are going to need to come up, that we may not have to go to the county and ask for as much money, and we might be able to have that pot that we can use to be able to do some of these major expenses. So there could be some additional money as we go along to add to this, but I don't necessarily have anything right now to add to it.
All I will suggest is that when you do your discussion with whichever bank or financial institution you do that with, you can ask for a one penalty-free withdrawal in whatever period you choose to invest, so that you don't have to be concerned about losing interest in the investment for whatever period they would charge you. Many times, you will get a better interest rate with a certificate of deposit than you will the money market. Many times, not 100% of the time, but many times. Having said that, are there any other questions?
Just one last thing, and that is just a little more clarification. So I heard you say that most of this money came from lack of filling positions, which I know that we have now, almost all positions are currently filled. And I know you well enough to know that you have budgeted for all of those positions currently filled. So it makes me wonder, we had the money left over because we didn't fill them, but we have them all filled now. I understand the money's being carried over, but did we really miss like that many individuals to have an additional $2 million?
Well, you have to think that you have the salaries and then you have the benefits. And the benefits that we pay is roughly 26%, almost 27% of somebody's salary. That is a huge chunk of money, so it does add up very quickly. And when we budget for an open vacancy, we don't budget at step 0. We always budget a little bit higher so that if we do get someone who has some years of experience, that we're able to afford to give them that step. Yes, a lot of times we do end up at a step 0. So there's salary savings from just, people retiring and you hiring new. There's salary savings from unfilled positions. It does add up very quickly.
Thank you. That was more of an explanation for those watching than it was.
And that's also the extra money that came in from the state that's not calculated in because of taxes being high, like all of these different factors that you don't get until the end either, at last minute, and you haven't budgeted any of those.
Any other questions? All in favor of approving, giving permission to Ms. Meyer to conduct business with the board and all of the other activities, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
What is conduct business with the board?
Now, you also get to discuss the budget adjustment.
Grab it.
What does conduct business with the board mean?
Say again?
What does conduct business with the board mean? I didn't understand, I'm sorry.
Well, she is going to take this to the board and ask permission to carry it over, the Board of Supervisors.
Gotcha, okay, I understand now, I just didn't understand. Sorry, didn't mean to throw you off.
Got a lot, too many pages. Going to be the fiscal year 26 budget adjustments.
So I tried to wait and do it all at once so I didn't have to do this multiple times. When the governor signed the budget into law in May, there was a change in the amount of state funds that we were going to receive. So there is a budget adjustment in front of you to be able to appropriate those additional funds that we will be receiving from the state. There is no additional requirement from the county, so I want to make that clear that this is just state funds. It does not affect anything that the county has to provide us. There was no additional funding needed from them. So this is just additional state funding we get, and it kind of lists out in the areas that we will get it. Like there was additional state tax forecasted, the additional add-on for special education, additional funding for English as a second language, remedial summer school, a little bit extra for the compensation supplement because they changed some ratios. And then a little additional in that grocery and hygiene tax hold harmless amount we get, K-3 class size reduction, and then our SOL algebra readiness money. So that's the additional funding that you see, which is $407,172. You also see the expenditure lines where that will be broken down into. Some of that will go to instructional salaries and the taxes that go along with that. And then you see several of that going to the purchase services for our special education area, where we know we have, to provide speech, OT, PT, sometimes nursing care, psychology services. So that will boost those expenditure lines in that budget.
May I have a motion to approve the fiscal year 26 budget adjustment in the amount of $407,172?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Adoption of the math textbook. Dr. Martin?
This evening, I request adoption of Math Space for grades 6 through 12. Math Space meets the requirements of high-quality instructional materials from BDOE. Once approved, the curriculum will be ordered immediately and used for usage this year at those grade levels with piloting implementation of pieces, because we've already started the school year with it, but it will be a good resource for them to already have in place, with full implementation next school year. So we are not requesting adoption of a K through 5 textbook at this time. There was only one viable choice that we could look at, and the committee requested to wait and see if additional curriculum materials became available before we offered something for K through 5. We were a little hesitant on jumping full force into something, and it's the only real thing that met stuff out there. We felt we were in a better place with what we currently have right now that we're using than to just go with this option. Now, the option that we had, it was called KIDM. We may still end up going with that option down the road, but we want to see if anything else becomes available that would better meet our needs before we just jump in on one option. But we are asking, it was overwhelming for Math Space for grades 6 through 12.
May I have a motion to adopt Math Space for grades 6 through 12?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Adoption of the Spanish textbook. Dr. Martin?
So this evening, I'm requesting permission to adopt, I'm not sure if I'm going to say this right, Senderos for Nottoway High School and Nottoway Middle School Spanish classrooms. Our current series is no longer available to receive any materials or new textbooks in it. And the text was reviewed by our Spanish teachers. They looked at 3 different series. We did have it available for the community if anybody wanted to come give any input and look at them. So I'm asking permission to adopt Senderos as the new Spanish textbook. I hope I said that right.
Good to me.
May I have a motion to approve the Spanish teacher's request for this Spanish textbook?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Do we know what the cost for this is?
It is, did I not put it in there? On this one, it's 56,000 and some odd change.
Any other questions? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Item E is the addition to this agenda, which modifies the student code of conduct, specifically that area that allows the $25 program fee payable to the school. That will be removed. May I have a motion to modify the student code of conduct?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? I will just say, for a matter of record, the board's attorney provided information and then shortly thereafter adjusted his original advice and quoted state law indicating that we should not engage in this activity. Any other discussion?
Yes, I would like to say that it still does keep in place that the first offense will remain confiscation, parent notification, required completion of a 1-hour vaping awareness and prevention educational course, and 2 days of ISS. It will still include that.
So if they come back and do it all over again,
There'll be a second offense and then third
Then
plus
what?
offense. Second offense is confiscation per parent and student conference with administrator, 3 days of ISS, completion of vaping dangers and education course with school resource officer and parent, loss of all school-based activities for 30 school days. That is your second offense.
so then what? So
And then
they're
you're-
just gonna keep going on and on, so what do we do then?
So then you have a third offense, and that's outlined, and then after that, as it says in our code of conduct, refusal to comply may result in additional disciplinary actions.
I like the money for it, but.
Okay, the change basically is that the division will be liable for the 25.
Yeah, I understand that, but I
That's the unfortunate thing. The flip-flop from Micah Schwartz was the unfortunate party.
Right.
If he'd have done all of the research necessary, he would have found all of the law, not just part of it. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Non-action items, we don't have any at this time. Information items. The disciplinary review 24-25 update. Dr. Lewis.
Good evening, Madam. Mr. Chair.
Madam Chair. You look different, Sonny.
It's okay, I combed my hair differently. Got it.
Mr. Chair, Dr. Martin, school board members. So this evening, I'll be sharing our discipline data that was actually reported to the state for the 24-25 school year. It is also important to remember that this data is what was reported through PowerSchool. So that's our recording system. So everything that was documented in there goes to the State Department. It's also important to remember, as I present this data, that some of the numbers may look interesting because sometimes there's students that had received multiple incidents. They had multiple incidents. So when the numbers look funny, it might just not be one student. It might have been one student that had 5 referrals. All right, so on this first slide, we have our total number of consequences. Means that's the total number of consequences that we gave out for the 24-25 school year. So it was 1,020 consequences that were given out for the division. And then as it relates to, oops, hold on, let me go back. I skipped giving you the schools. So at the school level, this is broken down by school. At Blackstone Primary, they had 121 consequences. Crew Primary, 133. Nottoway Intermediate School was 135. Then the middle school was 196, and at the high school, 435. So as you all can see, of course, our school that has the most is at the high school level. Now I'm going to break it down as it relates to the actual consequence, that discipline that they actually performed. So behaviors that impeded the academic progress of students and of others. So the total, we had 161. Total number of students was 109. Okay, so that's where that discrepancy with the numbers come in. So this particular category points out those that are classroom disruptions. Too talkative, interrupting the teacher, just not complying with requests from the teacher. So it could encompass a lot of things within that classroom disruption. Then we have behavior that endangers students, and that's health, safety, wellness, and students, of course, of our school community. The total number of events that we had was 86, and the total number of students was 85. That does include threats, assault, striking a staff, and instigating violence. So that, that is something that, of course, we take very seriously. So, but we did have 86 events and 85 students. Behavior of students, safety concern, unsafe, conditions of students safe to our or visitors at the school. And so the total number of events that we had there was 254. Total students was 245, and that included fighting, throwing items, shoving, pushing, possession or using or distributing tobacco, and that included bus distractions. So that did, encompass a whole lot of things with the fights, the throwing of items. Contrary to what you may think, we did have some shoving and pushing going on. Sometimes it's not a fight, but there is some shoving and things going on like that. So we do code it as shoving and pushing rather than fighting. Then behaviors related to the school operations, interfering with the daily operations of the school procedures. So total events was 265, total students was 219, refusal to comply with requests of staff. And that does happen a lot. So like I said earlier, it could be either in this particular category or the first category. Students not going to their assigned classes, and students in unauthorized areas of the campus. So of course that means that a student was supposed to go to class, they didn't go to class, and went to the bathroom, they stayed too long, they were there unauthorized. The next one is relationship behaviors. That creates a negative relationship between two or more members of the school. This is no physical harm done, but it is failure to respond to questions or requests by staff, use of profanity, vulgar language, gestures, unwanted or inappropriate physical contact. That gets, can be kind of big. Some individuals think it's considered assault, but when it's just unwanted, it's a little different. So we do have those separate. Speaking to another in an uncivil or discourteous manner. We had a total number of events of that was 348. Total students was 278. All right, so as a division for the 24-25, the time of the events during the day, of course, a lot of them happened majority of them happened during the day. So we had 999. Of course, I had to look at the number, like, is that correct? But that is the correct number, 999. And doing the school-sponsored activities, and that could be our football games, basketball games, prom, things like that. Those are school-sponsored. If we had an event, we did have some. We had 7. Not doing school activities or school, we had 5. And then in transient on the way to school, we had 88. I'm keeping up with my slides too on my paper. So now I'm going to break it down to you a little bit by the time of events for each school building. So for Blackstone Primary, during the day, they had 112. Of course, they have very few school-sponsored activities, so they had 0 there. School activity, not during school or activities, was 0. In transient, which would be on the bus to and from, they had 31. For Crew Primary, during the school day, they had 133. At a school-sponsored activity, they had 1. None during their non-school or school or activities. And in transient, they had 13. At Nottoway Intermediate School, during the day, we had 118. And then during the school-sponsored activities, we had 1. Not school or activities was 2. And then in transient, we had 21. At the middle school, we had a total of 196 during the school day, 3 at a school-sponsored activity, none not during school or activities, and in transient, 2 were from school, we had 18. For the high school, which of course, the high school, you all noticed, we had a lot more of those incidents. During the day, we had 440. During a school-sponsored activity, we had 2. Not during the school or activities, we had 3. In transient, on the way to and from school, we had 5. Next slide here, we have the location of events. So they break it down with classroom, interior, exterior. So what I'm providing you are the areas that were the highest level. So our total number of classrooms for the division for 24-25 was 628. Our total number for interior areas in the school was 326. By school, classroom for Blackstone Primary was 80, Crew Primary was 81, Nottoway Intermediate School was 75, Middle School 135, and the high school was 258. For the interior for the schools, Blackstone Primary was 26, Crew Primary was 34, Intermediate is 31, Nottoway Middle School was 58, and the high school was 177. And those were our top categories. Of course, there are some at the primary school where it happens on the playground that will be considered exterior, but I gave you the ones that were our top numbers. All right, so I did want to spoke with Dr. Martin. We did want to kind of share just where we are, and I did this like over the weekend, so it's as of September the 12th. We'll say we've been very busy this week, so we know that the number has gone up. I was like, just a tad. So, but I did this over the weekend. So the current consequences that we've had as of September the 12th, and we will be doing another presentation mid-year as to where we are this year. So of course you'll see those numbers, of course, change. But for Blackstone Primary, we had 13 as of the 12th, 13 at Crew as of the 12th, 8 at the intermediate school, 4 at the middle school, and 18 at the high school. So I also wanted to kind of share where those disciplines were happening, like what was going on. So for Blackstone Primary, they had 8 in the area of that classroom disruption that was impeding the academic progress within a classroom. Behaviors that endanger endanger self or others, they've had 1, and that's threat or assault or striking or a staff member, instigating violence. Then they had 4 with behavior of safety concern, creating an unsafe environment within the classroom, and that would have been a physical altercation or dealing with transportation. That's Blackstone. At Crew, they have had 9 behaviors that have impeded the academic progress, which lended to classroom disruption that interfered with the learning in the classroom. Behaviors that endanger self or others, they've had 1, of course, that lends to the threat, assault, striking a staff member, instigating violence. And then we've had 3 at Crew Primary for behaviors of safety concerns, creating an unsafe conditions within the building. That, of course, includes physical altercations or transportation. They've had 3. At the intermediate school, they have had 5 behaviors that have impeded the academic progress and for themselves and other students. Of course, like I said, was classroom disruptions. And then those behaviors that endanger self or others, they've had 1. Behaviors of safety concern, they've had 2. Middle school, behaviors that have impeded the progress academically is 1. Behaviors that are related to the school operations, which have interfered also with the school procedures, is 2. And of course, you'll notice if you look under theirs, that was refusal to comply with the staff or vandalism. I put that there specifically because that was the referrals that they have had. And then behaviors of safety and concern create an unsafe condition for the students is 1. I will say that the middle school has done well with that because we should not have any more of that vandalism because I think we've kind of narrowed down who it is.
That's good.
Yes. Okay. So
that's good.
Yes, they worked very hard to kind of figure that out. So worked as a good team to do that. At the high school, behaviors that impeded academic progress, they've had 6, which included that classroom disruption, and then they've had 10 that behaviors that related to safety operations, which would have been refusal to comply with staff requests and non-compliance, and then they've had 2 of safety concerns. So their total events for this data, total number of classroom, overall, we've had 28. Interior, common areas of the building, 22. Transportation, we've had 6. And so I did break it down by the school. So for Blackstone classroom, they've had 10. Crew primary, 7. Intermediate, 3. Middle school, 1. High school, 7. Interior, Blackstone primary, 0. Crew, 4. Intermediate, 5. Nottoway Middle School, 3. And the high school, 10. Transportation, I will say with transportation, we might not be having that problem because Dr. Martin has been riding the buses, so she's gonna make sure that they don't have any issues as far as to discipline on the bus. So if there's a bus you all wanted to ride, make sure you let her know. But Blackstone Primary, they've had 3 bus incidents, 2 at Crew Primary, none at the intermediate, none at the middle, and 1 at the high school. So if you all will notice, I mean, the numbers are there, and the majority of our incidents are occurring during the school day in the classrooms, and most frequently involve relationships and classroom disruptive behaviors. This information is being used to support improvement as we work towards fostering safe, respectful, productive learning environments across our schools. I will say that we have Blackstone Primary presented on their kindness program. We've also developed an initiative and put in procedures and processes for all schools to do kindness activities monthly, bullying-free, preventive things monthly. So you should be seeing some pictures posted about that. But we are encouraging our students, our adults, everyone to be vigilant, everyone to encourage kindness and positivity within our buildings. I would also like to just share that we do have our Reset Academy that we have up and running. We do have 7 students that are in that program. I will say that our students that are there are enjoying the program. They do miss their peers, I will say that, but we do have a lot of support there. We are about to start a mentor program with those individual students. They will get an individual mentor. We have our school social worker checking in with them. We have, they do get physical activities, so they have their physical education classes there. So it's just a lot. The instructor there is very good with them. He's very patient. And I think it means a lot to have a male working, because it's all males in there. I think it's very good that we have a male teacher that is able to connect with them. He also takes them outside, you know, he's throwing the football, just connecting with them to hopefully encourage the reset to happen when they return into the building. We do have at our we are about to have one that's going to start attending our alternative school at the end of this month. So we do have a student that's going to begin there. And then we also have 4 in our GED and night school classes. I would like to let you all know that we have 2 that's going to take their GED. If not, they're not going this week, but next week we're hoping to get them to take their test. So we're looking for success there. We do have 6 on homebound, and we have 170 that's on homeschool right now. So I did kind of want to give you that information. We have had some vaping going on. So you question that, we have had about 3 referrals already with vaping. I would say, like to commend the high school, because they have, of course, had to make sure they made that payment to make sure those students took those classes. So that's where we are as of today. I'll entertain any questions if you all.
I don't know if it's the right question, but how is the bullying thing? Because, you know, we've heard a whole lot about that. How are you handling that?
So we are, when situations come up, we've had conversations with our principals. I have to tell you, we had training by Pete Tina Norris. Fabulous. Yeah, so we had, I shared with y'all the first time. So she came and trained our administrators. She came back, and you'll hear it in my report later. I don't have to say it then. My report's going down really quick tonight. I'm just taking things out left and right. She came back with it last Thursday, the 11th. We did training with staff in each of the schools. They felt that it was very beneficial. We had our ESSA advisory committee meeting today, and one of the people on the call said, we really need her to come back and have the conversation. I said, well, don't worry, because we already scheduled her. We had already planned to do some type of family support, bullying knowledge awareness programs for our families. It's scheduled for October the 13th. And I will. Don't worry, I'll remind you. Do you know how often I send out messages to remind people on that app? I'm really good at sending those messages for y'all. But we asked her that day, Dr. Lewis and I both were like, we really need her to do this program. We need her to do it so it's not us telling parents what bullying is and what bullying is not. She does a very good job of describing to parents and to families. So she's coming on the 13th with us. It'll be an evening session, informational session for me. She's going to focus on the cyberbullying aspect of it, and then also the foundational pieces of bullying. So as Dr. Lewis said, we've started those campaigns in all of our buildings. If the principal gets a report of it, we have a very thorough packet, even if they believe that it's not. We are going through all of the steps to make sure we've gone through the whole process to document. We are notifying the child's parent that has come to us with it or whoever about it, and the potential person that was bullying, that we are doing the investigation to do it. All of our staff has done their online modules. Well, I'm saying they've done them. They were due by September the 15th. Dr. Greger is in the process of giving me my list so that I can check if anybody doesn't know, I ask for lists all the time, and I check through all of them, and the principals are sitting there nodding, and I give them an email when I see something that they need to fix very quickly, and I'm like, hey, this person hasn't done this, or this is poor Robbie, he doesn't want to hear from me ever again, I think, with work orders, because I'm like, oh, have you done this? Have you done this? Have you done this? But we're going through that list now because every staff member has to go through that online bullying prevention training. That we're working with them. Dr. Lewis is on top of it with her school counselors. So we are really hitting it head on. We've had only a couple of incidences that we've done so far with a formal process so far, but we are getting it out there. We are making them aware. Dr. Lewis, did you want to add anything?
The only thing that I would add is that we did lend to Pizzi for our materials because they're very specific, very detailed. So creating something, no need to reinvent the wheel. They are also going to bring brochures for us. We've ordered brochures to just kind of get the information out. And we're not just going to do a one and done. So we will be continuing to share. And
the reason why I have asked that question because I've had questions. People question me about that. And I want to be able to say, hey, our people are on it. They're working on it, and I want to come because I want to. If they want more information, I'm getting it from you guys, so I want to be able to say, "Hey, we're working on it."
And if you get someone speaks to you about something, please let us know.
I will.
Because we don't know, we can't investigate it, so.
And I always refer back to,
yes.
to always. So, but
I'll be honest with you. We start sometimes 9 o'clock at night. So whenever it comes in, we will get the information out to the administrators, to the counselors, and say, hey, as soon as you get in the morning, pull these students and get information. So as soon as you all hear about anything, please make us aware. Because we take it very seriously.
And I have to add about the Reset Academy for you. I've had the opportunity to go in there a couple of times. And they're doing an amazing job in there. But Spring Hill Church in Blackstone is partnering with us on the mentoring program. I know Dr. Lewis is meeting with them next week. When we met with Pastor Warren this week, he said, well, when do you want to start? We were like a week ago, like 2 weeks ago, So Dr. Lewis and Mr. Hayes are meeting next week, but it's funny, you'll go in and a couple of them will say, now Dr. Martin, Ms. Martin, Dr. Martin, please go talk to Dr. Lewis for me. I think Dr. Gravely went in, she got the same thing. I think Dr. Lewis said, y'all are making me look bad because they're like, we're ready to go back. We're like, we got a process, we're gonna work through this process, but also the mentoring element of it and the discussions that we've had with being able to pair up every student there with somebody as part of their transition plan back to school. They'll have that mentor that they've established, and that mentor can follow them back to the school. So that hopefully, the purpose is that we don't want you to come back to us in Reset Academy. We want to get you on the right path, but a lot of the kids have found it to be very beneficial. They've formed those relationships. And they're getting the schoolwork done. They're doing not that they don't have hiccups. Everybody has a hiccup along the way, but every day's a new day, every moment's a new moment, and we're working with them. So it has been a true blessing, and I think a really good start with us. And Dr. Lewis does a fabulous job with it, so.
And just so the board knows too, we do have some students with disabilities that are participating in the program too. So I have case managers going in to make sure that they're also receiving their accommodations. So it's encumbersome of meeting all the needs of all of the students that are in that program.
I appreciate that, because it's kind of a little pet peeve of mine, because the last time somebody stood right there. So it's a pet peeve of mine now.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The Inspiring Leaders Program, Dr. Greger.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, school board members, Dr. Martin, staff, and guests. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you tonight about Nottoway LEAD program, Leaders Emerging Across the Division. It's an initiative created to sustain the success and growth of our school system. So what is Nottoway LEAD? Nottoway LEAD is a year-long initiative running from September to June, designed to identify, cultivate, and support emerging and aspiring leaders within NCPS. Its core purpose is to strengthen our leadership pipeline by providing structured professional development, mentorship, and hands-on leadership experiences. How does it work? The program is structured around monthly meetings focused on various leadership themes, including orientation and self-assessment at the beginning, leadership standards and styles, building school climate and culture, observation, feedback and coaching, instructional leadership and data use, special education leadership, communication and conflict resolution, school operations and compliance, leadership simulation and capstone project, and finally, the capstone project presentation and recognition. LEAD members engage in a variety of activities to develop their leadership competencies, such as completing a leadership skills self-assessment at the beginning and at the end, participating in a year-long book study, maintaining a reflective journal aligned with the Virginia Standards for School Leaders, shadowing a school leader for a full day each semester, engaging in a leadership professional learning community, also known as PLC, conducting school walkthroughs with principals or central office staff, attending a school board meeting and providing reflection afterwards, and developing and presenting a capstone project aligned with a school division priority, such as attendance, instructional best practice strategies, or social emotional learning. The program's core components emphasize leadership, data-informed decision-making, communication and collaboration, instructional coaching and observation, strategic planning and resource management, and finally, legal and ethical responsibilities. Why is this program needed? The program is important for several reasons. I'll name four. Strengthening the leadership pipeline. It helps us identify and develop leaders from within our own ranks, ensuring a strong and continuous leadership pipeline for succession planning. 2, professional growth and development. LEAD provides authentic, job-embedded learning experiences aligned with Virginia performance standards for school leaders, fostering essential leadership skills in communication, data use, instructional leadership, culture, and operations. 3, cultivating a network of leaders. The program cultivates a network of future leaders committed to serving the Nottoway community, fostering collaboration and a shared vision. And finally, number 4, preparing for the future roles. By the end of the program, participants are better prepared to step into formal and informal leadership roles within the division, equipped to understand and apply effective leadership practices aligned with NCPS goals and the Virginia leadership standards. The Nottoway LEAD program is an investment and, like Dr. Martin said, our most valuable asset, our people. By nurturing the leadership potential within our own staff, we are building a more resilient, effective, and forward-thinking school division. This program directly supports our commitment to excellence and continuous growth, ensuring that Nottoway Schools continues to thrive for years to come. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Thank you. I personally believe that we need to be able to go outside when necessary to bring people in, but we also need to focus on those that are already here, because those that are already here are here. They've already committed to us, and I think we need to show that we can commit to them, that those that are capable, those that have a desire and a want, we can fill that. I'm truly appreciative of those that we get from the outside. But I will do whatever I can to help support that internal process of promoting from within. I think it's a phenomenal program. It's something that we need to truly invest our time and resources in. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, just so you know, I think, and Dr. Greger, correct me please, we have 10 people in our program. That's the max that we were willing to take.
That was our target.
And they've all accepted
They have.
to be in the program, so we'll be starting with our monthly sessions with them and our work, so.
All right. Starting is essential. So that first step is an important step. 10 matters.
Yes, indeed.
Hopefully at some point it'll grow and it'll be, those 10 will be ambassadors to the future. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Membership report, Dr. Martin.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Your packet this evening has the enrollment by grade in school across the division. Total school enrollment as of August the 31st was 1,653 for grades that are part of ADM for the division. These are enrollment numbers, not ADM numbers, so they're just solely enrollment numbers. In addition, we have 84 students in the pre-K or ECSC programs, which gives us an overall student enrollment of 1,737. Not part of our enrollment, but housed within our building at Blackstone Primary is our Head Start program. It's not part of the school division, they just use the space from us. But there are 15 students there. We do roster them in our system so we know who's in our school building at all time. So that's the enrollment report for you, and in your packet you have the breakdown right now by schools. I know the schools are still picking up more students. We've had some transfer out. We're still going through the process. Every day we're calling to figure out where do we put them and do we have everything. So we still have numbers going up as well, so and moving in and out and stuff like that. So.
Thank you. Make the presumption that the budget update we've already done.
Well, I can give you a little bit more, if you would like. It's not much more.
Yeah.
And
I enjoy hearing from you.
it is raw data, so I'll give you a little bit.
All day.
Put that to the left.
Because you have all the money.
Yes.
I don't know about that.
All the money. Well, you're trying to do it right. Make it work.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question when you have a moment.
Go ahead.
Yes, the 25-26 school year budget was based on an ADM of what? I don't recall.
1,700.
1,700.
How current ADM, almost 100 less than that, what does that do to us looking forward for the rest of the school year?
So keep in mind that ADM in August is only based off of a handful of days of membership because it's average daily membership. As we add more days, that number adjusts. So we had kids that didn't come on the first couple of days of school, so they're not going to be counted yet. I mean, August is a really hard number to look at with that. As we go through, it's a better indication. But Heather can speak to what it does one way or the other, but I just wanted to share that to Mr. Outlaw.
Yeah, so I don't...
But does the current enrollment lead toward the 1,700 number, or is it leading toward the...
I mean, it would probably currently be leading to a lower number, but it's still so early in the school year I don't typically start stressing over ADM until about November, when we start to see some type of plateauing. But that's when I really start tracking hard and heavy the ADM number and what it could potentially do to our budget, when we still have, 9 months to be able to react and make any adjustments. So, as we kind of start going into the year, then we can start looking at, really how big is the potential hit that we may take with budget, but it's still too early to really make any major adjustments yet.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And I know, Mr. Outlaw, you can't see what I gave the board members, so we'll make sure you get it. This is some raw data on where we ended FY25 with revenues and expenditures. And I say raw because right now I'm still in the process of trying to complete our annual school report, which is a beast of a report. But it's also the time that we learn, do we need to make, adjustments because something wasn't coded right? So it truly is raw data until that report is finalized. So you'll see FY25 revenues, the cash receipts that we actually received during the school year, total almost $35 million. I put a little extra over to the side just to remind you of the revenue that we carried over from FY24 to FY25, which was about a little over 3.7, almost 3.8. Just to give you an idea that, if you look at total revenue of what we had available to spend, you'll kind of see that we did not overspend, which is what the main thing is. So we had roughly about, I'll say about $39 million that we actually had available to spend throughout the school year. If you look at the expenditures on the backside, we spent about $35 million, almost 37, and you can you'll see the breakdown as to where the areas that we spent. Instruction is where we spend the bulk of our funds, which is a good chunk of that. About 80% of that is our salaries and the benefits that we pay our teaching staff in order to be able to provide that teaching instruction to our students. And then, it kind of offsets from there. The next biggest area that we spend is typically our operations and maintenance, which is on our building facilities, our sprinkler systems, our HVAC systems, any repairs that have to be done. All of that comes out of the operations and maintenance area. As I finalize FY25 numbers, at that point, then I can provide you with a line by line item breakdown so that you can truly see where we spent our funds and where we did not. But I did at least want to give you this kind of raw update this evening, just so that you kind of have an idea of where we started the year, where we ended the year, and where we spent our funds for last fiscal year.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Any questions?
The ANTC report. Principal Slidzinski, standing in for Mr. Outlaw.
My pleasure. Good evening, Mr. Chair, members of the board, Dr. Martin. I'm pleased to share with you our update for ANTC. We are, of course, in full swing. We have several of our classes that are about to start some new projects. Our carpentry class is in the process of designing a new roof system for our air compressor out there. They will eventually demolish the one that is currently there, which won't be very hard because it is falling apart. And they'll be installing the new roof system. Our collision repair class is in the middle of fixing a van for some community stakeholders that recently came over to our school. Our culinary is in the process of preparing weekly menus, and I believe tomorrow the menu is a Denmark dish. So every week he's doing a different dish from different areas, and it's some kind of pork dish based on the ingredients that I saw. Some of the teachers got a little chance to sample some of it today. Our Cause Salon lab hours are in full swing. If you would like to know when our lab hours are, please visit our website at antc.org. And we also had the opportunity of having a visit from the American Heart Association yesterday. Miss Tammy Turner was there. She is going to be in charge of administering our new cards and is our training center for our BLS classes for medical assistant and for nurse aide. And she was extremely impressed with our programs and the equipment that we have there currently. Other than that, I thank you for your support for ANTC. If there's any questions?
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Very much.
Very much.
The Governor's
Job
School,
From now on.
Uh-oh.
Yes.
Bill said you can have the job from now on.
That's okay.
the Governor's School report, Mrs. Duncan.
No report for this month.
The SEAC report, Mrs. Duncan.
The SEAC report, there's no report to make for the SEAC with the exception of, as you saw in the consent agenda, there was several individuals who have now been appointed to the SEAC, and I am extremely happy to see new names on that, and I'm hoping and praying that it continues to grow. I do thank the division, central office, Dr. Martin and staff for putting the word out there more than I've ever seen it put out there before. We do need to continue to push for more members because your voice counts.
Thank you. And now our student liaison report, Ms. Lee.
Some past events that our high school has done is the Gear Up class of 2027. They toured Richard Bland College Friday, September 12th. Some college reps have visited the high school, like Longwood, Chowan. There will probably be more like VCU, I think. Clubs had started Friday, September 12th. The next date for clubs is October 3rd. Upcoming events is Senior Convocation, September 22nd. The Honor Society is hosting a blood drive, October 7th. Homecoming Spirit Week is happening from October 6th to 10th, as well as the homecoming football game on October 10th and dance following after. In the athletics, golf has been doing really well. They are the district champions, and they will have a tournament Monday, September 22nd. Cross country, they've been improving, and they had a meet yesterday. They got first, I'm pretty sure, and they've been doing really well. Volleyball, they traveled today to Cumberland, JVM varsity. They're doing well as well. They're improving. Football, they have 2 wins and 1 loss. They are playing Brunswick tomorrow away. And cheer, they have 2 mascots, Charlie and Carly, who are awesome. And the band is going to have a competition September 27th. And like the Blackstone Primary School has shown today, Nottoway is starting a kindness program. And they will be celebrating monthly kindness days, with the next date being October 10th, entitled Include Others, where students invite someone new to talk or sit with them. That's all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. You're a welcome addition.
Yes, indeed.
Now, matters of school board interest. On the 22nd, that was mentioned, the senior convocation.
Superintendent.
About Dr. Martin.
Skipped over Dr. Martin.
But she had talked so much already.
I was going to say, I could skip my whole report.
Skip the whole
I've been drawing lines all through it.
I would call that a bazinga. The superintendent's report, Dr. Martin.
So good evening again, members of the board. I want to share some highlights from across our school division. So our focus continues to be on students, supporting staff, and strengthening our community partnerships. So a couple of things under staff and student supports, learning outcomes and staff support. So every department and building is working hard to strengthen student outcomes while ensuring our staff have the tools and the encouragement that they need. We know that when our staff feel supported, our students will thrive. So we're really working to support our staff and what they need. I talked a little bit about bullying prevention earlier, but on September 11th, we had that training in bullying prevention, reinforcing our commitment to safe and supportive schools. All staff were to complete the online bullying modules, recognizing and supporting students by September the 15th. As I share with you, we're in the process of checking behind those now for completion, and we'll be following up with staff that have not completed training at this point in time. We did do our training with all of our bus drivers and maintenance and cafeteria staff all in one setting together during back to school week. So when we say everyone has to complete it, Everyone has to complete it. Even us, I did my training. One night at home, I sat there and watched all of my training videos and took my tests that go with them. So everybody does participate in the training. We're hosting a parent informational night with Tina Norris from PETSI on October the 13th. It will focus on, as I share with you, cyberbullying and the foundational knowledge of what bullying is. We heard from BPS tonight about their kindness program, and each school is focused on kindness. And all of our schools now have the kindness banners in the schools. It says choose kindness. You saw it, I think, in Ms. Painter's picture, but every school has it. Some are hanging outside of the school buildings because we're really promoting choose kindness across the board. Ms. Jennings is not here, but I wanted to highlight transportation, a spotlight. So I had the pleasure last week of riding with Ms. Jennings. We left from Blackstone Primary. I have to say she is truly remarkable. Every child who steps on her bus is greeted with a smile, and every child leaves her bus with a kind word each day. I did come by your house. I went all the way down 612, back up and around. Let me just tell you, I was much better when we started moving and the air started flowing, because when we were going through town and it was start and stop, start and stop, start and stop. I was like, oh goodness, this is not going to be good. But it was amazing to ride with her. As we shared earlier, we have very dedicated staff to our students, and she made sure that every child was off that bus and in the hands. I rode from the elementary, and then we rode up here to the complex. I did have to find my own self a ride home that day because I'd left my vehicle at Blackstone Primary. Luckily, I went to a volleyball game, and somebody was nice enough to take me back to Blackstone to get my car. And tomorrow, I am riding with Cricket Cawley from Crew. I'm going to leave with her from Crew Primary, ride her route, and come up here to the complex with her. So we'll need transportation home tomorrow as well, or back to the school board office. So I really do enjoy working directly with our staff and seeing what they are experiencing and make sure I have the chance to talk with them and hear what their needs are. So that's one thing. I know Dr. Lewis is getting ready to ride bus too. She talks about me riding them, but she's getting ready to ride too. So we just divvy them up and kind of go around from each one. We started with elementary. We'll have complex eventually. That's a little bit longer of a ride out and a ride back in. So we also did our bus evacuation drill today at the complex. It is a requirement that we have it, but it's also important to ensure that students and the drivers know how to respond in an emergency situation and get off the back of the bus. Dr. Lewis, myself, the high school team, middle, intermediate school, Dr. Gravely, a bunch of us were up here, and it's all the same thing. Sit and scoot, stop trying to jump off the back of the bus. And they keep jumping, and I'm like, I know Mr. Wilson and I were worried we were going to start catching people today, but we do have to time them getting off the bus. They have to do the whole process. They have to open the door, they have to get off. We have to time them, we have to count the number of students that are getting off the bus for an emergency situation. They did a very nice job with that. The elementary schools do their own drills because they have drivers that are right there on site that can help them with that. Attendance Awareness Month is this month, so we're increasing communication with families and working with the community to emphasize that every day counts. Strong attendance is directly tied to strong learning outcomes. It's really important that we have kids here, and we're committed to supporting families and making sure students are present and engaged. And if they're not here, figuring out why they're not here. We're really working on the proactive approach instead of always being reactionary in processes. And then just an item just to make you aware that you will see at the October meeting, I will be bringing forward for your approval the merging of Nottoway Intermediate and Nottoway Middle into one school code. This is really important for us to ensure accountability. Actually will help us with accountability and accreditation because we have more students in that pocket. It really doesn't affect anything outwardly except it puts all of our funding into one pocket. Heather will be very excited that she doesn't have to separate all the funding out. It also ensures that we're in compliance with standards of quality, while official actions, upcoming staff really in those two buildings already function as one staff together. So nothing will really change except for the one school code that we will ask for and eliminating the other school code because they already do function that way. And across the division, the key theme that we're seeing is commitment. And that's what we want is commitment, from classroom instruction to transportation, from mentoring of new teachers, from cleaning the buildings, our custodial staff, our cafeteria staff to providing meals and fixing requests for maintenance and technology. As I share with you, I know Robbie is tired of me checking list and saying, oh, have you done that? Have you done that? And our staff demonstrates every day what it means to be, we are Nottoway committed to excellence. So learning and positive student outcomes are a partnership, just not with our schools, but they're a partnership with the community, the families, and the board, and that commitment is very evident in the work that we're doing.
Sunny was expecting more. He wanted more.
I'll be good. Matters of school board interest. On the 22nd of September will be the senior convocation at the main auditorium at 6 p.m. for those of you that are willing to attend. September 24th is the joint school board meeting with the Board of Supervisors here in the mini auditorium at 6:30. On the 26th is the ceremony for the Coach Joe Mayfield designation. On the 30th, if you signed up, is the VSBA Fall Superintendent Evaluation Workshop. October 21st, virtual training for the basics of budgeting, if you signed up for that. The 22nd is our monthly work session. There won't be a work session currently called for November or December. We have November 19th through the 21st, which is the VSBA Annual Convention in Williamsburg. Now, other items, Mr. Rowe.
All right, it is September, so that means it's time to talk about shots again. You know, flu season we expect to be rather robust this year, so if you are not allergic to the flu shot, please get your flu shot. Also, we still have the RSV respiratory shot that's available. Shingles, I've seen a lot of cases of shingles again. That's also available. So if you want to get a shot now, this is a good time, especially for flu shot, because it takes about 2 weeks to mount an immune response, and October is peak flu season. And also remember your basic hygiene.
Mr. Wilson.
Nothing at this time.
Mrs. Duncan.
I just want to say thank you for everybody who has been working hard within the schools. I have had parents come to me and say that they are seeing changes, they are seeing growth, and so I appreciate that. We are going to have hurdles. That is not a question. There are going to be students who struggle. That is not a question. There are going to be students who excel. That is not a question. The question is, how do you handle it? Handle it with professionalism and consistency. So I want to say thank you because I am receiving positive feedback. And I believe it's important to share that along with any questions or concerns that you have. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Outlaw?
Excuse me, nothing at this time.
Thank you, sir. I spent 2 days at the Arts and Craft Festival, doing some other things. But at least a half a dozen parents came up to me during that time to express their appreciation for the change. The changes in all of the schools, the changes of what seems to be going on, very positive, very favorable, very complimentary. In every case, not one time have I had someone come up with a negative issue about what goes on in the Nottoway County Public School System. Not that there aren't things that need to be corrected, but it's always good to hear the positive things that are going on and know that the team is committed to doing what's right. May I have the closed meeting resolution?
Pursuant to Section 2.2-3711A of the Code of Virginia, I move that the board convene a closed meeting for the purpose of discussing the following specific matters. A, the consideration for personnel for 30 appointments, which includes 9 substitute teachers, 2 part-time food service workers, 1 full-time food service worker, 1 food service substitute, 1 assistant volleyball coach, 1 assistant cross-country coach, 1 assistant indoor track coach, 2 bus drivers, 1 part-time car driver, 5 gifted liaisons, whoop, whoop, 1 maintenance worker, 1 substitute assistant boys basketball coach, 1 assistant golf coach, 1 art teacher, 1 visiting instructor, firefighter, 1 assistant band director, and 4 resignations and salary adjustments, 1 receptionist, Project Hope, 1 EL family and data liaison, 1 accounts payable manager, D, termination 1 bus driver, and E, personnel matter.
You've heard the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. We are in closed session. I'll bring